Hi, I'm Walter Weyburn. Welcome to my channel. If you're not subscribed here, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot of new things here on this channel. As you know, I am a certified chef for the state of Florida. I graduated from 3 culinary schools, and this is not going to be a channel like most cooking channels. Yeah, I'm going to do some cooking here. I'm going to have you in the kitchen with me, and we will do some cooking. But that's not going to be my main focus here. I will reveal my main focus on this channel in the days to come. But right now, I want to talk to you about why I decided at a very early age that I wanted to become a chef, and how I became a chef. Y'all, when I was growing up, there was me, my 2 brothers, and my sister. I had I hate to use the word stepsister, but she was much older than us, so we did not grow up together. She was already grown and had her own family by the time we was growing up. So there was me, my 2 brothers, and my sister growing up together. My mom was always disabled, wasn't able to cook, so it was up to us kids to cook. My sister did all the cooking until she grew up and moved away, and then it was my brother and me. Well, my brother was a very good home cook, and I think that inspired me to learn how to cook. But as we grew up, my brother went to culinary school. He graduated, and then I decided I wanted to do the same thing he was doing. So I took that same culinary class that he took, had the same teacher, same classroom, same everything. Then when I graduated, my teacher in that class, his name was Arthur Cotton. I'll never forget that man. He always took me under his wing. He taught me a lot of things in the class that he didn't really teach the other students. He said that I was the only one in the class that really acted like I wanted to be there. So when it came to breaking down like sides of beef, he didn't teach that to the other students. He was scared to let them handle that kind of equipment because they were some weird people. But he taught me how to do it. And when he wasn't able to get that done, he was too busy doing something else, he always depended on me to do it. Because our classroom in that school, we were the cafeteria workers. We were the ones preparing the meals and stuff for the rest of the school. It was like a business, and that's how he taught us. So I would break down the sides of beef and the steamship rounds and everything when he couldn't do it. Also, when it come to decorating cakes, he never taught anybody else how to do that, but he did teach me the basic stuff. I'm not the best cake decorator in the world by no long shot, but he did teach me the basic stuff. He also asked me that when I do graduate, would I consider, he called me in the office to ask me this, and that's something that he never done. He never called anybody in the office because he was always out in the kitchen working along with us. But he called me in the office and closed the door. I thought I was in trouble about something. But he wanted to ask me that when I graduate, would I consider coming back and substitute teaching for him? I said, sure. So he started the paperwork, but then I graduated and I moved on. And by the time I went back to finish up the paperwork with him, I found out that he had passed away. He came down with the same cancer that I had. He had stage 4 throat cancer, and he didn't know it. He was a chain smoker, though. He would light one cigarette off of the other one. But he went to the doctor one day with a sore throat. That's all it was, a sore throat. 2 weeks later, he was dead. So, excuse me, y'all. I just got through eating popcorn. So that didn't work out, but I did graduate the top of my class. In fact, he let me graduate early because there was another culinary class at Pensacola State College that I wanted to take, and he knew I wanted to take it. So he arranged for me to graduate early. That was unheard of. But he did. I got to start that other class in time. And it was culinary also. But I have to tell you a little side story about that class. When I walked in the first day of class, I was about 5 minutes late. Me, late? I'm never late for nothing. But that day I was about 5 minutes late. When I walked in, everybody was already sitting at their desk. There was one desk left open, so I took that desk. Well, the person sitting in the desk right before me, when I walked in that classroom, that person is all I seen. It was like tunnel vision. You hear about tunnel vision all the time. Everything else just fades away, and that person's all you see. It happened. That person was Amy, my wife. So I met her the first day of class because I was sitting right behind her. We had lunch together that day. That night we went out. The next morning I asked her to marry me. So we got through class, and in that class we wasn't allowed to have any kind of relationships like that. So we had to keep it a secret. But on the last day of class, after it was too late for them to do anything, because they would have kicked us both out of the class. After it was too late for them to do anything, we stayed behind after all the other students had left. And we wanted to tell Miss Nuneri, she was our teacher, that we had been going together the whole time and were planning on getting married. She shocked us. She said she knew it, but she couldn't say anything because of what she would have to do. So that was kind of cool. After that class was over, of course, me and Amy got married. I took another class over at UWF, University of West Florida, and that was to be certified food manager and to get certified as a chef with the state of Florida. Well, I did that, graduated that class, everything's going fine. So, yeah, it was all my brother's fault, really. He shouldn't have been such a good cook, and then I wouldn't want to follow in his footsteps. But I will tell you about one thing that kind of hurt my feelings. I guess I'll always remember it. My brother has passed away now, but I shouldn't dwell on this, but I'll always remember it. It'll always be in the back of my head. We both went through culinary schools because we wanted to be a chef. Well, he didn't pursue his after that class. He just did not do anything. Didn't get a job, nothing. He just wasted his time in that class, basically. Well, the last restaurant that I worked at, it was owned by some friends of mine, and I was doing real good with publishing my books at the time, so I didn't need a job. I was making good money at the time. But I went to work with them, and I worked 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, getting that restaurant in order. It was 3 months that we did that. And they basically let me take reins. I did everything. I did all the ordering, all the setting of the appointments. The only thing that they really done is the legal end, the license, the bank accounts and stuff like that. Everything else to get the restaurant set up, the accounts for the food and everything set up, they gave that to me. I took care of that. But I didn't get a paycheck for that the whole time I'd done it. I didn't want a paycheck. I was doing it for the fun. Because remember, I was doing good with my publishing company. So we finally got the restaurant open. We worked probably 5-6 months. Booming business. And all of a sudden, the 3 guys that originally opened the place, they decided they didn't want to do it anymore. They wanted out. So they came to me. We all sat down at a table. I didn't know what we was about to talk about, but Rick, he was the main one in charge of everything. He says, Walter, we've decided to close the restaurant. We don't want to do it anymore. It's just not what we want to do. I didn't say anything, but in the back of my head, I was crushed because I worked so hard at this. But then he said, Mike was their brother. He was the one that actually gave them the money to do this. And he also died from stage 4 throat cancer. But he told them before he passed away, to always take care of Walter for everything that he's done. And they promised him they would. So Rick asked me, he says, do you want us to close the restaurant or do you want the restaurant? I said, Rick, you know I want this restaurant, but I don't have the money to buy it. Y'all, he reached over the table and said, congratulations, it's yours. He gave it to me. I never paid anything. We took the next week to do all the paperwork, getting everything changed over to my name. Well, everything was going good there for probably 5-6 months. Business started dying down because the neighborhood was getting really bad. It was a very bad neighborhood. It was nothing to do with the restaurant itself. It was just the neighborhood. Very bad neighborhood. People were scared to get out of their cars at night in that parking lot. I mean, it was nothing to around the block somebody got shot. Hear an ambulance or police coming 5-6 times a day right there in the neighborhood. It was a very bad neighborhood. So business started dwindling down. And there was a guy that came in. He was also a friend of Rick's, the guy that gave me the restaurant. He kept saying, Walter, you're doing something wrong here. You're doing something wrong. You should be making money hand over fist. And I forgot to tell you that I always paid all of my bills in cash. I always paid my employees. The thing is, I never got a paycheck. So everybody got paid but me. But he kept saying, you're doing something wrong. You should be making big money here. This place should be packed out all the time. Let me buy it. I can run this place. I said, no, I don't want to sell it. I want this place. I love this place. But he kept on and kept on and kept on. After a few weeks, I said, okay, you can buy it. So I didn't sell it to him. He just paid up all the bills. He'd done some remodeling on the place. He sunk like $10,000 into remodeling the place. And he wanted me to work for him after that for about a year just to train them because they'd never done restaurant work before. But he wanted me to work with him. And I agreed. And he gave me a paycheck for that. So that was the first time I really got paid. So really, I still got my restaurant and I'm still getting paid. It's just not in my name no more. It's really the only difference it was. But he really made me mad one night. My sister had passed away. My stepsister had passed away. So I couldn't come to work. The next morning when I did come to work, the kitchen was just like they turned the lights off and walked out. They didn't clean anything. It was horrible. But beer bottles was everywhere. I said, you didn't have time to clean? He said, we was real busy. We didn't have time. Well, you've always got time to clean in a restaurant. I said, you might have not had time to work, but you had time to get drunk. Because I could tell they got drunk. So I quit working for him. 2 months later, he was closed. So I kind of thought that was funny. He said it was something that I was doing wrong, that I should be making big money. Well, he sunk all that money into it, then he had to close. So it wasn't nothing that I did wrong. So I always vowed that I would have another restaurant. But the thing is, I wasn't thinking about then is That restaurant was given to me. I did not have to pay for it. To get another restaurant, I would have to pay for it. So it hadn't happened yet. It could still happen one day. I'm hoping. Or maybe even a food trailer. That's really what I'm wanting, a food trailer. But it may happen one day. I don't know, if God's willing. But I still wanted to do something with my culinary skills, my cooking skills. So a lot of people said, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. I really wasn't into that. But now I think that this is my next step. I need to open this YouTube channel and get this YouTube channel going and make AdSense here. So that is why I got into culinary. That is why I became a chef. That is why I had such a passion for cooking. It all stemmed from my brother when we was a kid. So, Bill, it's all your fault. Y'all, I hope you like this channel. I'm going to be posting videos at least once a week, and I know that will be on Sundays. I may post even more than that. I don't know yet. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I am working on my website to correspond with this. I'm not completely finished yet, but when I do, it will be linked in the bottom so you can go to it. Y'all, I said I was going to let you know what I'm going to be doing on this channel. Well, yeah, I'll let you know on my next video exactly what I'm going to be doing here and why I'm doing it here. I think you will like it. I think it would be very entertaining and very informative for you. A lot of people has gave me some good answers. They think it's going to be a cooking show. Could be. Could be a lot of other things too. We'll just have to wait and see. Y'all, I do love y'all. If you're not subscribed here, please go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and leave your comments. Tell me what you would like to see on this channel. Tell me what you think I've got inside this noggin that I'm going to do. And just know I love you all. Until next time, ciao.